Howdy folks, I'm apprehensive Appalachian Brown, animatedly alphabetizing artful anthologies.
I'm Amber.
I mean, here are more artful anthologies for us to alphabetize. It's very difficult to do as a butterfly, though. They're so much bigger than me, and I'm not able to lift them at all, so it's not making any progress. But let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Boyfriend That I Don't Want to Raise His Little Brother? I'm a 26-year-old female, and I've been dating my boyfriend, a 29-year-old male, for a little over 2 years. We moved in together 6 months ago, and things have been solid overall. We communicate well, he's kind, and I genuinely see a future with him. Recently, his 14-year-old brother came to live with us. Their mother passed away unexpectedly earlier this year. And Dad is completely out of the picture. At the time, I didn't even question it. Of course we would take him in. My boyfriend is the only real family the kid has, and I understood that this was traumatic, fragile time. But here's the thing. It's been 3 months, and I feel like I'm becoming the default parent. I do the grocery shopping, I cook most nights, and I help with homework. I've rearranged my work schedule to be home when he gets back from school. Meanwhile, my boyfriend works long hours, and though he tries to check in emotionally, the practical load is mostly falling on me. I didn't sign up to be a surrogate mom at 26. I don't hate his brother. He's a good kid, honestly, but I didn't choose this role. I feel like I've been placed into something that I didn't agree to. Well, last week I brought this up with my boyfriend. I told him gently that I was feeling overwhelmed and that this whole situation has reshaped my life in a way that I didn't fully consent to. I said that I needed him to take on more of the emotional and physical responsibility, or at least acknowledge that this isn't just a we situation and it's his sibling. He got quiet and said, "So, what do you want to do? Send him away? He's a kid." I told him, no, that's not what I'm saying. But I also don't want to be made to feel guilty for not wanting to raise someone else's child when I didn't even plan for it. Since then, he's been distant. Conversations feel tense, and yesterday I came home from work and he had taken off the day. When I asked why, he said, "We need to talk." But I think we both already know where this is going, and now I don't know what to think. All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, I think it's very telling that when OP is like, hey, I don't like being like a sole parent. Can you step up? His reaction is, what do you want to do? Send him away? No, OP is asking you to do like your due diligence as a parent now. Like you are like OP has been more than accommodating and has taken on more than her share of the work. If he wants the brother to live with them, he needs to step up and actually be a parent instead of expecting OP to parent full time.
Well, I just want to know where he got. So you want to send him away from OP saying, "Oh, can you step up and be more involved?" Right? Those two things are completely like
he's trying to guilt trip OP and make her feel like what she is saying is pushing the kid away. They are absolutely not the same thing, and he is like, I think, just trying to guilt trip her and be like, well, we can't send him away. Like, that's not what OP is asking, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's being incredibly manipulative here, and maybe he misunderstood OP, but I mean, I don't feel like he could have misunderstood OP unless he's like making some rash like assumptions here. I don't know. I just feel like he is being manipulative. I feel like there's a massive difference between what OP asked for and what he's making it out to be that OP asked for. And he needs to step up and be an actual father to his brother, right?
Yeah, like why is it that OP is doing everything? You know, like this has only changed OP's life. It seems like she assumed this would be a partnership. They would be doing this together, but it's become almost entirely her doing everything. And I mean, OP, I think this is a very good learning opportunity for you, though, because, like, if he's not willing to step up now, if you want kids in the future, you're getting a picture of what that's going to look like.
Well, and that's exactly where I wanted to go with this, is that in the future, what is this going to look like for OP and their children, right? Is he going to pull the same kind of stuff here?
I mean, a 14-year-old is already a lot, you know, most of the way grown, and like he does have emotional trauma he's working through and whatnot, but it's not the same as taking care of an infant who needs kind of around the clock intense, you know, caretaking. And so if he is this detached to help take care of a 14-year-old, he's not going to do anything for a newborn.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Old Dirty Dipstick says, OP seems selfish and not something that he signed up for. Sometimes things happen in life that are not under your control, and you just have to deal with them. Leave while you're not his wife, because you're not wife material. When you get married, you make a vow that says something like going through good and bad, but that seems as soon as it gets a little hard, you want to run. And OP says, what's he doing? He barely knows what grade the brother's in. I think that this person needs to learn how to read.
Yeah, it's such a bad take. Like, it is not a woman's responsibility to do all the caretaking. Like, Opie has stepped up as a parental figure, but he needs to step up too. This should be a joint undertaking.
Well, where's OP running at any of this, right? Mm-hmm. OP's not running away from any of this. OP's just simply saying, hey, can you please help me out? I'm having a really hard time.
Right, well, it doesn't make any sense unless you're operating on the assumption that women must do all the caretaking or they're running away from their responsibilities.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's BS. This is his brother. He can step up and do some of the parenting too.
And Purple 235 says, no jerks here or everyone's in the wrong here. In these 3 months, how has your boyfriend been coping with the death of his mother? Is he receiving any grief counseling? Or is he doing long hours at work to avoid going home where he has to face that his mother is dead and suddenly has become a parent with no preparation? It's great that you're helping out with his brother, and you should speak up if you're drowning, but there's so little mention of how your boyfriend is doing. Is anyone checking in on him? And Opie replies, he threw himself straight into the big brother protector mode and hasn't really stopped to process what he lost. He doesn't talk about it much, and anytime I try to bring it up, he just brushes it off like he has to stay strong for his brother. I think that he needs counseling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think some of this is manifesting itself. I think that, like, him lashing out like this may very well be part of the whole grief process here. Like, in that respect, like, if that is the case, then grief counseling is an absolute must, and probably couples counseling too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he hasn't received any help and he's bottling this all up, then I mean, that is really a recipe for disaster.
Right, but he's also not doing those things like Opie is saying. Like, maybe he took the brother in, but where is he actually stepping in and being a supportive force for his brother?
Yeah.
And so I understand this is a rough time for him, and that he may need time and space, but also when you choose to be a parent, you have to step up and be part of the parenting process. This wasn't a decision OP made on her own.
Yeah. And Teacup Collector 2011 says, not the jerk, you're both dealing with a lot. He is dealing with the grief from his dying mother, added responsibility of now raising a little brother. He might be checked out emotionally because he's overwhelmed with his emotions too. That said, it's not fair to put all this on you. If you don't want to stay, that's okay. Your boyfriend's little brother is his priority for the next few years. You're not a bad person, and neither is he. And Fun Possession 3299 says, he's going to break up with her, so she should really start packing. His orphan minor brother takes priority. I mean, if he breaks up with her, then he's only hurting himself.
Right, like, who's going to be doing all the parenting then? You know, like, if he already can't handle it, how does he think he's going to do it solo?
Yeah. And Much Meringue 7467 says, but when he breaks up with her, who's going to care for his brother? Her whole problem is that he's outsourced that job to her. Like, I don't know how many, I feel like sometimes some of these people haven't fully comprehended the consequences of what they're saying. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Let My Brother Propose at My Wedding? So I'm a 28-year-old female, and I got married last month. It was a small, elegant, classical wedding, nothing ridiculous. My younger brother, a 26-year-old male, and we'll call him Jake, has been dating his girlfriend Emma for 4 years. Everyone loves her. We're close. A few weeks before the wedding, Jake asked if he could propose to Emma during the reception. Like, literally grab the mic, toast, and do it in front of everyone. I said no. I told him that this was mine and my husband's day, and that it would feel like stealing the spotlight. He got sulky, but dropped it. Or so I thought. Well, the wedding day arrives, and everything is going beautifully until the speeches. My brother raises his glass and says, before I continue, I just have one more thing to say. He starts getting down on one knee. The room goes silent, and Emma looks shocked. I stand up, and I probably say too loudly, Jake, don't. Everyone's confused. Jake looks mad. Emma looks mortified, and he backs off and sits down. The rest of the night was super awkward. Now my family is divided. Half think that I overreacted and should have just let it happen. The other half agree that it was inappropriate. Jake hasn't talked to me since, and Emma texted me a week later saying that she had no idea he was planning on proposing and that she's reconsidering the relationship. So, am I the jerk for stopping the proposal? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, it is a jerk move to propose at someone's wedding in general. The fact that he was explicitly told no makes it worse. He knew that what he was doing, but also he didn't think about Emma in all of this. Like, I think it's important that if you are considering proposing to your partner, you think about what that situation will mean to your partner. If you propose to them at someone else's wedding, you're putting them in a really awkward position of one, saying yes and potentially ruining the night for the couple getting married if they're not in on it, or saying no in front of an entire crowd of people.
Yeah. It's
So
kind of an impossible decision.
it's an impossible decision, and I think Emma is realizing how little regard he had for her. Like, he just saw this and was like, fancy venue, all the relatives, let's go for it. But except his relatives were there. What about Emma's family and friends? They weren't there for the proposal, presumably.
So, I mean, I have heard of people proposing at weddings where they're kind of like sitting at a table and they just feel romantic for a moment and they're like, hey, you want to get married or something like that, right? Not like make a big spectacle or anything like that, and not even like get down on one knee and just kind of like, talk about it or something like that. And those kinds of like proposals are kind of like spur of the moment where they're kind of caught up in a romantic situation and they, feel like maybe now's the moment to talk about this, right? What he did here, I think, was completely out of line. Like, he already knew the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that he wasn't supposed to do this, and he made it seem like he wasn't going to, so that she wouldn't like kick him out of the wedding.
Well, that's it. He didn't care about OP. He didn't care about OP's husband. He didn't care about his partner. He was only thinking about himself in all of this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and OP trusted that he wouldn't actually go ahead with this
Mm-hmm.
because, like, in a lot of cases, you would want to make sure to, like, avoid allowing someone like that to even give a speech,
Mm-hmm.
right? But OP trusted him and let him do it anyways. So, I don't know. Feels like a huge betrayal. But let me know what you folks think. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. And Atlanta Dave 998 says, not the jerk. Weddings are supposed to be about the bride and groom, not an opportunity for a guest to steal the spotlight and propose. And Humania Roy says, right, it's a wedding, not an open mic night for life events. If he really respected the couple, he wouldn't have tried to hijack their moment. And Cute Girly G says, totally, weddings aren't a community stage for personal milestones. If he respected their day, he would have saved a big moment for his own time. An important log 2 says, not the jerk, even asking is tacky. Doing it after being told no is just being a massive jerk. Not to mention that it comes off as cheap and manipulative to use that romantic atmosphere for that purpose. And Incompetent Housewife says, also not to mention that it's manipulative to his girlfriend to do it in front of a bunch of people where she might feel pressured to say yes, even if she doesn't actually want to. Exactly what Amber was saying. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My Boyfriend Has a Notes Page About Me. So my boyfriend is a 31-year-old male and asked me, a 25-year-old female, to check a password on his Notes app the other day. While doing so, I saw out of the 5 notes that he had saved, one has my full name. Curious, I later checked it out. This note had everything about me. My favorite everything, food, color, flower, skincare, and makeup brands, clothing brands, drinks, restaurants, etc. My clothing and shoe size, and shades in makeup products, my perfume that I love, my family's names, and how I feel about them, my birthday, our first date day, our anniversary, my dream holiday destination, places that we've been together, and places that I've been thinking for our next holiday, where I was born, where I grew up, and how I want my house to look, with a link to my house Pinterest board, and so much more. We've been together for 2 years, and we live together currently. Is this weird? Is he writing all this down because he doesn't care enough to remember it, or because he doesn't want to forget it? I have no idea how a man's brain works, and I'm so confused. Please help. All right, folks, what do you think?
I think you're overthinking this a bit, OP. I think given the amount of detail he's going into here, he just wants to make sure he has all your favorites down and that he has things he can surprise you with. I mean, a partner who's not really invested in you is probably not going to be writing down things like your makeup shade and links to your dream house, like dream house Pinterest board. So my guess is that he just wants to make sure that he has something he can reference Because even if we know our partner really well, sometimes when you're trying to plan a surprise, your brain can blank and you'll be like, what was my partner's shoe size again? Or, And so it just sounds like, to me, it sounds like he just wants to be very prepared and make sure he has all the details so that if he wants a surprise OP, he can pull it right out and be like, oh yeah, she wears size 6 shoes.
I mean, for me, it depends. If his memory is a very bad memory, I could understand why he would want to hold on to details, right? We've had some stories where like someone was like keeping a Pokédex, for instance, on girls and their preferences and using that information essentially to get them in bed, right? That particular case, the judgment that we made was like that this is clearly wrong, right? Um, Keeping notes on your partner, it depends. I can't say universally whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it completely depends on the intention of the notes, right?
Well, and I think the difference here is they're in a 2-year relationship too. This isn't like he's just trying to make OP a notch in his bedpost. It seems like he's keeping track of things for like their long-term future. Like Dream House Pinterest board is presumably, down the road. And so it just seems to me like he wants to be very prepared and have like all her favorites down. Like I would not see any red flags in this.
Or he has a double family life and he has another girl that he has on the side and he's keeping track of all these things just so that he can make sure to never confuse the two.
I mean, he could be. He could be.
No, and I'm not saying that that's the case here. I mean, I'm not trying to be cynical
No,
about
you
this
are
issue.
trying to be cynical.
No. I mean, I'm just saying that there are multiple reasons why someone might have motives for this, right? I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm saying I don't know his motives. If his motives are fine, if they're just because he really cares about OP, has a bad memory, and wants to remember these things, go for it. I mean, there's not really too much harm. The amount of detail is a little concerning for me, but I mean, I guess like not everyone's going to remember all those kinds of things. Like I remember most of the things that he has written down that I would know about you and that I would have already probably had committed to memory for like our relationship early on. And so for me, it just seems like, well, I mean, why would you write all that stuff down if you have it in your head type of thing, right?
Yeah, my memory is not like that. Like I couldn't tell what your dream house is. I don't know if you've ever shared with me. You don't have a dream house Pinterest, but like I could not tell you what Brian would want in his dream house.
And I mean, I could easily pick out a Pinterest board, I think, that would be Amber's dream house. I mean, I think I could put together one. I think I could put together clothes and makeup and shoes and Amber's feelings about their family and stuff like that. I mean, I don't feel like those things are would be terribly hard for me to just write down without having them, a list of them. And I mean, again, like for me, the thing that's important here is his motives. If this is a motive to keep a secret partner so that OP can be like, so that he doesn't have to confuse people, yeah, it's wrong, right? If this is, he has a bad memory, he wants to keep track of these things, or he's always just afraid of forgetting things, that would be something. Maybe it might be a good idea to sit down and talk to him about this list and how OP feels about it, right?
Yeah, well, and if I'm remembering the comments, and I might not be remembering correctly, but I think OP mentions someone asked about ADHD and that she suspects he has ADHD. Not everyone with ADHD is forgetful, but like there are memory issues associated with ADHD a lot of times. So
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like this could be a memory thing, and if that's the case, this I think it's going to be up to the comfort of OP. I think keeping a list on somebody is one of those things where maybe you should kind of let people know about that and be like, hey, hopefully you don't mind. I'm just going to write some notes down about this. I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those things that some people might be incredibly creeped out by this, right?
and I mean that's fair. Everyone's gonna have different feelings, but to me personally, like if you had a list of all these things, I'd be like not at all bothered. It wouldn't concern me in the least bit. I'd be like, oh, Brian wants to make sure he remembers my makeup shades so he can buy me more makeup.
I'm going to do that and write it all down in blood.
Well, I mean, there are ways you could make it creepy, like, if it was just a normal list in a notes app on your phone with no.
I'm going to do it in that font that looks like it's the bloody font and write it all in red.
Yeah, like,
And see how creeped out Amber gets.
I mean, I won't be because I know you.
Amber's like, no, of course I won't be creeped out by this, Brian. This is nothing abnormal. You can't shock me at this point. Yeah, again, like, I mean, I think at this point in time, it really depends. I think, yeah, I think both both could be a case. I don't know. Well, let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And ATB Fitivi Biffy says, why are you snooping through his phone? And OP replies, I'm not snooping. He asked me to look for a password to an account for his game console. I saw a note and was curious. You're saying that you would not be curious for a note titled with your full name? He is very happy for me to be on his phone, as I am with my phone. I have nothing to hide, and neither does he. Our shared bank account is also on his phone, so I have that often. And Allergy Mom 74 says, this is because he cares. My husband jots down notes for a while because it helps him come up with gift ideas, etc. And yes, some people do need reminders. Be thankful that he took the initiative to care and keep notes himself instead of continually asking you what you want and what you like. This is a good sign of how much he appreciates and cares for you. For your information, my husband is the single best gift giver because he does this. It's thoughtful, and we both forget ideas of things that we randomly bring up during the year that we would like to get or would like to do. Don't overthink this. It's a very good thing. And OP replies, thank you so much for this. My mind was racing with all what this means, as I've never had to think about these things and remember them. I appreciate your comment. I will be ensuring that he is well appreciated. And Dances with Weirdo says, oh, he loves you. Marriage material, honestly. And OP replies, this has me very happy. I was worried it was a problem with him not being bothered enough to remember it, but you're right. Maybe I will propose. Lol. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why shouldn't you listen to sheet music?
You shouldn't listen to sheet music because sheet music is actually made of sheet cake, and sheet cake doesn't really make much noise, as we all know, unless you put your ear in it. And trust me, if you put your ear in sheet cake, then it will sound beautiful and it'll sound incredible. So take my word for it. It's a worthwhile experience.
No, it's not. It might get you into trouble.
Ah.
And it's World Listening Day today.
So make sure to listen to me.
No, do not listen to Brian's bad advice. Do not buy a sheet cake and stick your ear into it.
And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Fantastic Friday, folks. I can't believe it. We made it to the end of the week. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on inconsiderate partners or considerate partners.
It's important to take your partner's wants and needs into consideration.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.